Welcome to the Healing Pod. I'm Megan, a licensed clinical psychologist.
And I'm Jessica, a licensed clinical social worker, and this is our journey of navigating anxiety as we learn to take up space and create an environment where we feel that we can belong.
Join us together as we learn not just to survive, but to thrive in our anxious brains.
This podcast is intended for educational and informational purposes only. It is not a substitute for professional therapy or medical advice. If you are experiencing any mental health concerns, please seek support from a qualified mental health professional or healthcare provider. Remember, your mental health is important, and seeking personalized professional help is key to your well-being.
And welcome back. We have Jess back with us again this week. Hi, we missed you.
Yay! Hi, friends.
Yes. Someday our lives will stop being this crazy. I have no idea when.
Yeah. When we retire.
Maybe. I mean, I'm currently surrounded in like piles of pens and folders. I'm like, I don't know any of the language I'm trying to learn here, but can people just give me a signature and a number? Just pick a number, like 1 to 15, 20, whatever, and sign this paper. Yeah. Adulting in a business. That's what we get.
Exactly.
Yes.
Y'all are going to see the phantom curtain behind me keep opening because my dog wants to look at the birds, and the other 15 windows in the house don't suffice.
No, this is the important bird window. This is the fun bird window because it bothers you.
Exactly.
That's how it works. Yeah, but we are in a new year. We are solidly in a new year now. And we wanted to talk about setting goals and resolutions because we tend to do those badly and fail about 3 weeks into the new year. All the goals we set.
Yes. Everybody says this year is going to be different, and I'm not doing this, and this is the way I'm going to do it. But then there's no realistic actions to take with that other than praying that it all just changes.
Yeah, and it seems to be, this is the time of year that if you are a regular gym member, I am not other than my little tiny one, the gym is over full these first couple of weeks. This is the time of year when everything is this big push in these first cold, dreary weeks of January, and then everyone stops.
Yes. Yeah. Facts.
Yeah,
I am not a gym membership getter. Sorry, friends.
No, I don't have a membership. I have like my tiny gym that I do my yoga classes and other random classes at, and that's it. But that's just, I get to pay when I feel like going. That works for me. If I had more time, I would go more, but I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking up and there's something like 90% of all resolutions, all New Year's resolutions fail. So there's definitely something here that we are doing badly for that much of a failure rate.
Mm-hmm. I don't know about y'all, but I used to be one of those, let me set these big goals every year. And then I'm always so disappointed in myself when I kind of look back at the end of the year and I'm like, I like fell off the wagon halfway through January.
Yeah. And that's like a huge feeling of shame. You promise this huge thing. And I really want to make this giant change and be so much different. And then you look at it a year later and you are who you are. Maybe there's some little changes, maybe there's some backsliding, but that big giant promise was just too much.
Yes.
Or it just wasn't something you wanted to do. Like that motivation for it. Like we go, oh, I'm gonna eat salads for 3 meals a week. What if you hate salad? What if your idea of a salad is like a pile of kale with some lemon juice on it and you really can't stand that? Why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah. You need to be able to stomach the change that you're making.
Yeah. It has to be something you want to change. If your favorite thing in the world is chocolate cake and you make a resolution that you're never going to eat chocolate cake again, why would you do that to yourself? That is cruel. Do not do that.
Good job.
It has to be something you want to change. It has to be something that's worth it. Something that's worth it for what you're changing it to.
And what does worth it mean to you? That really needs to be a thing too. Is it going to stay worth it? Or is it, I'm frustrated in this moment and this is a change I need to make, but then all the actions or all the work that it
Yeah.
takes is no longer worth it because something
Yeah.
shifted in your life.
Mhm. Those knee-jerk reaction, impulsive changes. Uh, is it actually are you changing the right problem? Is it actually the thing you want to change? Is it something you're just being told you have to change because other people are looking at you going, no, don't do it that way.
Yes. How many of you scroll social media and you see all of these friends and family members and maybe just people you started following who are posting all these amazing things that they did throughout the year? You're like, man, I don't have any of that. So I'm going to make all these goals. And
Mhm.
it becomes like this social norm, maybe even social peer pressure of, oh, well, they posted that they're going to do all these and they did all this great stuff the last year. So I need to do that too.
Yeah. And there is, I think, a big factor of making these promises feels good. There's a ritualistic aspect to I am making a New Year's resolution. This is something culturally that we do. This is something, they have a setup. It's got a history of it. People love when you make them. They praise you. You post on Facebook, I'm gonna completely redesign my house and do meal prepping every Sunday and work out 5 days a week. You get a lot of good feedback from that the first time you post it.
Hmm.
But how are you actually going to do it? And what do the steps to get to that goal actually look like for you? The goal
And
sounds
are you
nice.
surrounded by people who are going to help you and be
Mm.
supportive of those changes that you need to make?
Mhm. Yeah. Like you are in a household with, a spouse and a lot of kids. If you decide to go vegan tomorrow, I think you're going to get some pushback.
Oh, yeah, I'll be all alone.
You would. And if you're all alone with something like that, that means the shopping is not just the foods you need, and the snack foods lying around are not just the foods you need. And pretty soon, those bags of jerky that everyone's been stashing everywhere look really tempting.
Yes.
I say that having like 2 bags of jerky stashed around my house now for snacks. So
Yeah, no, I couldn't give up the jerky. See, that is not a realistic goal, friends. I know that I cannot give up the jerky.
it's too good. It's too good a snack. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So we're doing these things because they make us feel good. Other people are liking it. We like the idea of being that person that's all done. We like that contrast of things are bad now, and if I just got rid of all the bad things, it'll be great. But how do we actually get there? I think that's where a lot of it falls off is you got all that stuff. How do we actually get there? What does any of that mean to y'all?
Yes. And I know everybody knows this word because you learn it in school, you do it at work. What
Especially in our
is
jobs.
Yeah, right. SMART goals, right?
Mhm,
Like we all have done a SMART goal at one point or another. If you've been in therapy, your therapist definitely made you make a SMART goal.
mhm, mhm.
We don't make you do anything. We encourage you.
We encourage, and then we write it on our treatment plans if we do treatment plannings because we have to. Insurance is like that.
Not because we enjoy paperwork.
No, no. If we had the options, everyone would be private paid, no insurance payment because we don't want their paperwork. It's annoying.
Facts.
But yeah, it's so it is called a SMART goal, and that's just an acronym to walk you through what the different steps of it are for making a goal that maybe you'll actually achieve. Maybe. It's got to be something.
It still requires work though. It's not just like you make this goal because it was a SMART goal, it's going to happen.
Yeah. If your goal is to be exactly the same and do exactly what you're doing now, congratulations, you are going to achieve that. That's not
Mhm.
really a smart goal, but it's an easy goal. And there's a difference between the two.
Yes.
That's right,
So,
puppy.
oh, that was horrible. He is not happy because he made a SMART goal to go outside and chase birds. I am not being a good support system.
No. See, you need that. You need the supports to it.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you're looking at how do you set the goal, that's the first step to is this at all possible? Then the first part of smart, the first S is specific. What on earth are you doing? Do you know? If you don't know, okay, go research. But
Mhm.
what is this goal? If the goal is I want to be in better shape, what does that mean for you? Does that mean eating healthier? Does that mean going to the gym? Does that mean losing weight? Does that mean being able to run further? Does that mean walking upstairs without losing your breath? What exactly do you want to change? Because
And
that'll
what does
help you
the
figure
end
out
result
everything.
realistically look like?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you're thinking you can lose 50% of your body weight in a year, that's going to have some other health ramifications and not be good. That's a big number, not good, not a good idea.
Yes, absolutely. And then we need to look at measurable, the
Mhm.
M.
Yes.
How do you know you made progress?
Yeah.
How do
So
we
you
know
say,
that things are changing?
right. You say, I'm going to do this specific thing. Okay. How do you know where you're at and if you're getting there? So again, like if we're just, I'm going to be healthier, that's not specific and I can't measure that. If it's, I'm going to be able to run 10 miles by the end of the year. Okay, we can measure distance. If it's, I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Okay, we can measure weight. Something that will know how you are making progress because knowing that you are making progress is going to help motivate you.
Yes.
If you're just kind of floating around there, I think I'm doing good. I don't know if I'm doing good. I have no idea throwing things into the void. You're not going to keep doing it. There's no feedback.
Yep. Do we make a chart? Like, is it something you're wanting to do more of or do less of?
Hmm.
How are you measuring what you're doing? Smoking.
Yes.
Maybe you're cutting down a cigarette every
Mhm.
week. Maybe
Yeah.
you're a pack a day smoker and you take one less cigarette a day. How are you measuring that you're doing that?
Mhm. And there is definitely a dearth of sticker charts for adults. So if you want a sticker chart, make yourself a sticker chart. You know,
I
the
like
bullet
stickers.
journals were hot rave for a minute. Bullet journals are fancy sticker charts. You just color it in instead of putting stickers on them. Work great. Anything that you can use to measure it that you can see, that you can mark your progress. If you're drawing pictures of cigarettes and looking at like, all right, well, I only did 8 cigarettes today, and this week I'm doing 7 cigarettes. Great. You can see what you're doing. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you want this
Absolutely.
to be something you can do. So if you
Like,
are like a carton smoker a day, telling me you're going to quit cold turkey tomorrow.
I can do it. I have the willpower. I promise I'm not addicted.
Yeah, nicotine is one of the most addictive things. So, no. It's not that I don't believe you. It's just that I think you're lying both to yourself and expecting me to fall for it.
And the achievableness of this. If just taking smoking, are you going to get sick from quitting cold turkey? How are you going to feel?
Mhm.
Is it possible? And are you going to be so sick that you're like, forget this, I want my fix?
Or smoking is it was such a big part of shift work and of like kitchen work because that was the only way you were able to take a break. You could have a smoke break, but if you didn't smoke, you're not allowed to take any other breaks. So is that cutting out socialization? Is that going to make your work harder? Is that going to take away break times?
Yeah.
No. Not that there are benefits to smoking, but there's hardships with quitting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So we need to know, is it achievable? Is this even possible? No. If your goal is I'm gonna save $30,000 by the end of the year and you make $50,000 in a year and you have rent or a mortgage or whatever, that's not gonna happen without a lotto winning and we can't control that. And if you
Yeah,
spend all the
that's,
money trying to win the lotto, you're gonna be in the hole.
that's true.
Yeah.
I keep waiting to win the lottery, but then I also remember I don't spend money on the lottery. So
Yeah, me too. They actually
it's probably
have
not achievable either.
they have a giant billboard on my way into work that says like the Mega Millions, the quick draw. So it has the big lotto numbers on it. So every time it comes into work, it's like, oh darn, I didn't win again because I didn't buy a ticket. I figure it's about the same chance for me, so it works out the same.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I still have $2 in my pocket.
There you go. That's a cup of coffee if you do that for a few weeks. Worth it.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Yes. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant. Do you care?
How is this going to change your life?
Yeah.
How's it going to change your year? What's going to make things better for you?
Mhm. Yeah. Is this a you goal? Is this a I should do this because they are telling me I should do a goal? Is this a my partner tells me I have to do this in order to be more lovable, and I'm not ready to walk away from them because I think they're the only ones that love me, and we'll go back to some of our old episodes and talk to you about that again goal. Like, where is this fitting in your world, in your life? How is this a goal for you? Why? What's it gonna do for you?
Absolutely. Also, if you're a smoker and you work in a hospital, this non-smoker is judging you every time you get in the elevator, and I feel like I stink after you get out.
Mm. Yeah,
I'm judging. We're all judging
we are. Yeah, when
because
I
we listen, but we also judge.
Mhm. We do. Do we fail that? Except for each other, we totally don't judge each other, but that's besides the point. You have to be
We
on
do,
this
but we
level of
judge to
friendship
each
for
other.
that.
We judge to each other.
True,
Like,
true.
do you really want to do that? So it's relevant. Is it making a
Yeah.
change in your life?
Mhm. A change that you want to make.
Yes. Not somebody else wants you to make.
Right,
How are you going to accomplish this? Because it'll make you feel better.
right. And like, smoking's a good example because you do get a lot of judgment for that. Kind of happy for that. But there is other things that you can do as well. So if you are, if you're married to someone with horrible asthma and they kind of die every time they're around you after you went out to smoke, a big piece of this goal is going to be for their benefit, but it is for their benefit because you love them, because you don't want to be a jerk that's making your partner sick, because it's actually going to get you more time with them. They're going to be more comfortable around you and want to be around you. Like there are benefits for you.
You care about this thing.
Yeah. You
The
care about
people who
that
get in an
person.
elevator with me that don't even know me, I don't think they care about me.
They don't. They don't. You are lovely and wonderful. And if they knew you, they might care about you, but right now they don't. And that's their loss. So
They're
they will
like,
never quit smoking. Yeah, good for you.
exactly. So rude.
It's totally. If they only took the time to realize how awesome you are.
Seriously.
Oh well, we'll get them there. The world will know your awesomeness someday.
Yes. All right, my friends. And then we look at the T. So we've got smart, we've
Yes.
got specific, measurable, achievable, relevance. Do you care? And time bound. Is it time appropriate? Is it reasonable?
Hmm.
How are you going to check in with yourself?
Yeah. Like if it's one of those goals that it matters a lot to you, but honestly, it could just maybe next year, maybe next after I'm done being busy, after work has calmed down, we will do this goal.
Mhm.
It's never going to happen. You have to give yourself some structure. You have to give yourself some scaffolding. Part of being specific and being measurable is letting it be, okay, by this month, I want to see if I can be at this place. And if you are, great, you keep going. And if you're not, then we kind of reassess and reevaluate what happened. Why aren't we at that place? Why are you still smoking a carton a week instead of less? Why are you still running, half a mile instead of a mile at this point? What's going on that's in the way? And how do we address that?
Yeah. You make it achievable by having time appropriate steps to it. Because if
Mhm.
I say, my life is going to be wonderful in a year, all right, great. 2 weeks from now, and things are still the same because that year is so far away and there's nothing to show me that I'm actually making changes. We're human. We want instant gratification. We need to see that
Mhm.
things are better and we need to feel good because if it doesn't feel good, we're not going to stick with it.
Yeah. And that's development, that's evolution, that's how our brains are wired to work. We don't want to just feel miserable. So if your resolution, if your goals are again like diet related and you eat food that is bland and tasteless and miserable and doesn't give you joy and took away this thing that you really, really loved, you're not going to stick with it. You know? And if it's like, well, I'm going to do this and I'll see the results on this day, if you see the results on that day and you're miserable, failed, never mind. Gotta have that balance.
Yes. It's important.
It is. So when you're making these smart goals, part of this achievable, relevant, like you want them to be manageable sized. Again, you want something that's going to be able to be sustained. You don't want to create a goal that you're going to, half kill yourself getting to And then you're going to need to stop because of time, because of money, because you just can't keep that type of lifestyle up, and it's not reasonable. Maybe you have a weight loss goal and you do an extreme diet and it works great. And you put a lot into it for that first month, but now you have work deadlines that were delayed, and now your friend's in town and you need to see your friend. And now, the kids have their sporting events amping up and you're going to have to start running again. Like, if it's not sustainable, if it doesn't become a habit that is part of your daily life, it won't stay with you.
Yes. And as much as people say like habits are easy to change, they're really not. That is part of our muscle memory. And every time someone's like, "Oh, I tried and it didn't work." All right, well, keep trying, right?
Mhm.
Because it takes, what is it, like 7 times to break a habit or 14 days, something like that. I'm bad
Yeah,
at
I usually
remembering.
go with like a month when I talk to clients. Like, let's have a month, but it's not that hard, or like it's not a solid rule. You can do something completely inane for a month and it'll become a habit, but then the second it's inconvenient, you'll stop doing it because what's the value of it?
Yes.
It's like, oh, well, that's just a habit. But the second there's something else that's easier, that's better, that you don't need to do that, you will stop it. Because yes, you're used to doing it. And if you're in that situation, you will do it again out of memory. But if it doesn't benefit you, you're not going to do it.
You have to keep at it, and it
Hmm.
has to be joyful.
It does. Because I know, like, one thing I run into a lot when people are trying to create goals is they're waiting for the motivation. It's like, I have to want to do it. I have to feel good. I have to feel ready, like cleaning your room. Oh, I have to be in the mood to clean my room. I mean, yes, that definitely helps. You also need some discipline though. There needs to be that balance because it can't just be waiting until you're in the right mood and it feels good and you're going to do it. 'Cause we're in reality here. That doesn't always line up. And
Yeah.
sometimes you got to say, no,
Absolutely.
I'm doing it. Yep. You
Yeah,
need that
absolutely. And I think that's
inspiration to
where,
do it.
yeah, absolutely. And I always tell people, like, sometimes there are things where you're like, "Oh, I wasn't in the mood." Sometimes we just have to say, "All right, I want to do this. I'm going to force
Mhm.
myself to do this right now.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not doing
there's
anything else. How do
yeah.
I do it?"
There's a purposefulness to that. Like, I am not in the mood to do this right now. All right. Will I actually come back and do it later? Does it need to be done? It has been frigidly cold this week. We gotten down to single digits again. It's great. Love living in Northern New York. I come home from work and I sit there and go, I am really not in the mood to go feed outside animals. I don't get a choice. I have to. They need food,
Yes.
dragging water up the hill because the hose keeps getting frozen. They need this stuff. They rely on me. So if it's something that I have to do, I can have the discipline and it doesn't really matter what mood I'm in, I'm doing it. But if it's a goal that you don't keep your reason for it in mind, if you're not like, well, I'm doing this on purpose because this is what I want, you're not going to push through those days where you just don't feel like it.
Mhm. Absolutely. But with that, on the other end of that is something that brings us joy. We know
Yes.
that there's requirements around it. So we do the uncomfortable parts
Mhm.
because we get joy out of the other part.
Yes. There is an outcome that you want. There's a feeling of accomplishment. There's, something good just about doing the task. It's like
Mhm.
this brings me something positive. I don't smell like cigarettes, so my partner's more likely to hug me. Cigarettes smell bad. I'm never smoking. Sorry, guys. But, there's something good about it. And there's a bit of that flexibility too. My motivation is really low, but I need to get it done. What's my timeline like? What's my scale? What am I able to do? If I'm working on exercising more, can I walk for half an hour today instead of running for 15 minutes? Can I do something that is more achievable?
Mhm. Do
Just like,
you want to start working out, but you don't like to do things alone? Do you have a friend who can help be your accountability partner so it
yes,
also makes it more fun?
yes, you definitely need a support system. Like like we said before, when you first make the goals and I'm going to do this in my new year, new me, all this stuff, like you post that all there, you get that support, you get everyone going, oh, that's great. And then they go back to their lives, as they should, because they have lives. Who's getting up and running with you? Who's expecting you to show up at the gym? Who's going to look at you when you go for a cigarette break and go, I'm going to judge you in the elevator the entire way down and the entire way back just because I love you that much? No? Who's going to be that person for you so that you can be that person for them?
Yes. Because I'm going to be honest with y'all. Our goal was doing a podcast. And I am the flaky friend. I am the one who always has something else going on. And Megan is my accountability partner. It says, hey, we got to record. It's time to get on. We're doing it at this time.
Yep. It's like, all right, these are the times I got. When are you working? When are you free? How are the kids? How are you doing? You know, and I do it on purpose because, you know, selfishly I want to spend time with you and sit here and chat with you. And it's fun. And
if she doesn't, it won't happen.
Yeah. If I didn't have this very, very stubborn streak in me of no, we said we're doing it, I am disciplined enough to do it, it wouldn't happen. Because that's life. Yeah. And life is hard. But if I sit here and I bug you enough about it, you show up on my podcast. And that's lovely. And I love it.
And it is something that I enjoy. It's just making the time. Oh, there's a lizard running at me. This is not cool.
Okay. But it's a Florida lizard, so it is cool.
It's looking at me. It's looking at me. Why is it in my house? That's where we're gonna start.
Where'd the puppy go? How's the puppy dealing with the lizard here?
He doesn't care. He does not care. He wants a bird. He's like, oh, that lizard. Although, so our house is old, and one got through the door the other day because I swear they like sit by the door and wait. And it was in our bedroom. And I literally picked up my bra to put it on, and it jumped off my bra at me. I'm naked. I'm getting dressed. I freaked out. It jumped on, like, I have a little chest at the end of my bed, and the dog is sitting there watching me feeling like a freaking crazy person. It's 5 o'clock in the morning. Now the baby is awake. Orion's awake because the baby sleeps in my bed. And they're both laughing at me. And he's like, it's just a lizard. What is wrong with you? The dog then decides, since my father is not a knight in shining armor, I will save you, Mom. And he starts chasing the lizard, and it starts going up my bed. It bites his lip and he's shaking his head and flings it at me again. Oh, those characters.
Oh, I tried to help.
Like Florida lizards.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
My dog has the hiccups, and he's laying by the lizard and is totally oblivious to it.
Is there a buddy cop comedy about to happen here between these two? What are we doing?
I think so. Cool. I love how our podcast about SMART goals turned into my fear of lizards and my hiccuping dog.
Listen, when a lizard jumps out of your bra, you're allowed to be afraid of it. So yeah. So it's a SMART goal. So no lizards in the bras. We're going to measure it by checking how many lizards there are each day. It's achievable. We just need to seal up your entire house. It is relevant to your interests because no, and time bound. So I guess we have a year. We can work on it. So yeah.
So it gets cold again. So then I'm braless.
There you go. I mean, I think they're overrated most of the time anyway. Unless you're doing something bouncy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. For now. I mean, for us smaller broad girls, they're overrated. If you're bigger, then everything feels bouncy. So we're talking boobs. Hi, podcast folks. Well, this is not the OnlyFans. We haven't tried to run one in a while. You got this.
Right now, we're still working on feet. We're trying to get those feet up and going.
Exactly. It's just you know, it's a little too saturated, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So anyway, support system, very needed. Much like a bra, you need the support sometimes. It's important. No shame.
Strong support, making sure that your friend doesn't laugh at you when you're afraid of lizards. She just supports you, and your constant checking of making sure that lizard stays where he's at.
Absolutely. I mean, I will laugh, but at the same time, if I was there, I would totally get the lizard out for you. It'd be hilarious. Be me and the dog like jumping under the crane, trying to like catch it and things. It'd be great.
Yeah.
We got this. As soon as we get the portal technology, I will save you from the lizards. It works. Yeah, so you need this. You need a support system. You need the lizard wranglers. You need the person that's like, you told me you were going to do this, and I really, really, really like spending time with you and rely on you, so I'm holding you to it. Come podcast with me.
Exactly.
You need that.
And that's how we get successful. That's why we are going to be business partners, because we hold each other accountable in different ways.
Absolutely. You know, Jess tells me I can actually do things, and then I say, all right, well, you said we're doing it, so we're doing it. When are we doing it? That's how it works.
I'm the great idea fairy, and Megan makes it happen.
That's why one of these days we will actually have a nice retreat somewhere warm.
Yes, with ketamine and music and maybe some sex therapy.
Maybe
We have some weird
That'd be
ideas.
fun. We have fun ideas though. They're all interesting. We like all this stuff. It's all fun and interesting, you know.
Pretty sure
Life was
just
just.
talking to me at this point.
Oh, she'd be all on board with it. It's fine. We're good.
Yes.
So yeah. So effort that you can do, stuff that you can do, support system, tracking it. You know, like I think there is a lot of that self-shame when it doesn't go the way we have it planned.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when it's like, oh, we're going to have it perfectly set up and we're going to do this. We're going to podcast every Tuesday evening. It's currently Friday afternoon, guys. Oops.
Absolutely. I mean, a discussion I had today was, my goal is to, somebody who's religious, my goal is to pray every day and go to church every week. And there was, they're like, more days than not, I am going to church, and more days than not, I am praying every day. But those days that I didn't pray, like, it's really affecting me. And then I feel guilty because why couldn't you make the time to pray? Right. Because you're human. And that's what I said, because you're human.
Yeah.
You are working on it. You recognize where maybe you faltered a little bit, but that's where it's measurable. Okay, so maybe it's not realistic to pray every single day, but you can make the goal to try to pray every day,
right?
Or more days than not.
And even that, like that's such a squishy goal to have. So if you're going to create a habit of, I would like to pray more each day. Okay, when? When do you like to pray? Is this a prayer for safety? Is it a prayer for setting your intentions for the day? Is it a prayer for checking in, say, all right, how did I do? Like making it even more specific. So I am going to pray for 2 minutes when I'm lying down flat on my back before I go to sleep. All right, we have a location, we have a time frame, we have, a cue for when I lie down to go to sleep. Oh yeah, you can put a reminder on your phone, you can put a reminder on sticky notes on your bed, something to kind of cue you into the habit you're trying to build. And that will make it so much more likely to happen than I'm going to pray more each day, because you're going to be really, really, really enthused about it when you're talking to the other person. And that's my goal. I'm going to pray more. And then the next morning, you're going to wake up and go into your habits and live your day. Yes. At some point,
or
like at
when things
lunchtime.
change.
Yeah. Oh,
Absolutely.
gosh. Yeah.
Like maybe you're young and you want to go out with your friends and you don't get home till 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you were having a drink or two and you just fell asleep.
Yeah.
So how do we avoid that shame spiral of, oh man, my life changed for this day and that didn't happen? How do I adjust to make it more achievable?
Yes. If your goals are about perfection, you will fail. You will never be perfect. If that is what good enough means, no, it's never going to happen. We are human. We are so bad at this. That is
I'm trying to figure out how to be AI.
Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. I don't think you drink enough water for that. Something about the water resources they use. I don't know.
That's realistic.
Language learning, water resources, I don't know. You just start talking in monotone, see if that makes people weirded out. Show up with different numbers of fingers on each hand each day. See if they notice. That's all.
Cool.
It would be. Or just like some of those really great contour artists, if you just like showed up with a different nose shape every day, how long would it take someone to notice?
Me, I would notice. I notice every little change. And I'm like, it's off with you today.
See, I'll notice, but I'll doubt myself. I'm like, did they just get a haircut, or did they get a haircut 3 months ago and I'm only now recognizing that I feel like something's different about you and I'm too embarrassed to ask?
I'm going to gaslight them until they agree with me.
How's that?
I'm just kidding. I'm that person to be like, no, you're probably right. I'm probably making things up in my brain.
See, I say that, but I just say it all in my head, never out loud. And then someone else brings it like, "Oh, did you get a haircut?" And they go, "Yeah." I'm like, too late.
I was right.
I
You do
thought
not have to make an appearance at every podcast we do.
But why not?
Coming toward me. There we're at. I'm sure they need to be.
Lizard, we're bigger than you. We are scarier. Lizard, do not come towards. Cannot intimidate us. We are more intimidating. Maybe. Listen, we can start doing like lizard assisted therapy. I don't know.
Oh no. Listen, okay, so we all know I do OCD therapy, and that means exposure response prevention. I tell people all the time, I will not be doing any exposures with lizards or snakes.
Mhm.
If that is the kind of therapy you need, that is a fear of mine that realistically I can live with. I can make it. It's okay.
And like that's a big thing. So, talking about goals and things like that. If this is not something you're actually going to need to face, it's not going to actually improve your life if you fix it. Why is it a goal? Like you could do lizard exposure therapy. Why? Or you can fix your house so there's less lizards in your house.
Because this is a baby alligator in the house right now.
Okay, I think that would be kind of better. Oh, I got the picture. Like I said, we'll post this for y'all to see later, but I can see it first. Ha.
It's just like sitting there staring at me. If it runs up my leg.
Feet. You got so many spindly toes.
Yes, I think he's like one of those what are those? The salamander type things. I'm thinking of like Matilda, the newt.
Yeah. Newt. I mean, because I don't know how like big your blocks on your floor is, but that's half a block.
They're pretty
Usually
big.
like
Look, I'll take it.
Usually like a foot. So this is a decent sized lizard. So Jess's goal has nothing to do with lizards other than increasing safety from them.
Yes.
Because it will not improve her life to be less scared of that lizard.
It might improve my life. I will probably have less heart problems. Ripple, get out of the curtain.
You do have a lot of lizards in Florida. You do. Like we don't have a lot of lizards up here. They tend to freeze. You have a lot of lizards in Florida.
I don't know. That's probably why he's in the house right now. I'm about to turn on my AC because it's like 40 degrees outside right now. Turn on my AC to like 30 and freeze him out.
All right. We need a broom. We need a bucket.
Yes. I need my dog to be useful.
Seriously. Kirby would be all over it. It's all that moved. He gets very confused when there's bugs. All right. So yeah. So being the good podcast people we are and getting back on track, I suppose. Goals. We tend to make them badly, and therefore they fail, and therefore we feel like horrible human beings. And no, it's really we're just bad at making goals. We're not bad human beings, and it's not that we don't want to change. There's usually something that got us into that problem in the first place that worked for us. So we do kind of need to explore that and figure out, all right, why did I do this thing that got me here that now I want to change it? What need was it serving? What about it was easier, happier, whatever it was at the time? And how do I address that need in order to actually meet my new goal, which is the opposite of what I was doing?
Right. And I really think so. I know everybody has heard this saying that my eyes are bigger than my stomach, right? And I think that comes down to the same thing with goals. Like we have this unrealistic expectation, or we see something and we're so excited for it. Oh my God, that looks so yummy and I'm going to eat so much of it. And then your stomach is like, bro, I'm not that big. Take a step back. Your goals are like, whoa, glad you're excited, but I need you to take a step back and take some steps first.
It's like, you're not that motivated. You're not actually that person yet. You don't actually want to be that person. You don't want to do what it would take to maintain it. You want to like present to that person instantly for a day, but you don't want to get there and you don't want to maintain it, and you might not actually like it when you're there.
Yeah.
All of this has to fit into your life. Who you are, who you interact with, what you want to do in your world, all of it has to fit into that. Now, if you have a goal of growing all organic vegetables for yourself and feeding your entire family for a year off of only what you grow, and you live in the middle of a major city with like a little 2 by 2 foot community garden plot, guess what you're not going to be doing?
You can tell we live in very different areas.
Yes, see, you could do that. I mean, I could do that in my area too, except my ground sucks for gardens. It's very, very rocky. But you could do that, and there are definitely people that can and do that. And there's other people that let that little community garden die because they forgot to water it because they were busy.
Mm-hmm. That
And
would be
that's
me.
okay. Listen, my office plants are mostly okay. You can't see the dead ones because I moved them out of the way. I buy the discount plants at Lowe's and then try to save them, and I don't actually know anything about plants. I just know my office plants do better when I'm forgetful of them until they need water.
Viva would be very disappointed in your hidden dead plants.
I know. I love Aviva. I only have 2 dead ones at the moment. I'm just going to use them to repot the other ones as soon as I feel confident in repotting one. We'll see how that goes. We love you, Aviva.
And we love your plants because your plants are beautiful.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I am very jealous of plant people, and that is not my goal to be the plant person. My goal is to replant. Can't really see it because that one plant needs to be replanted, repotted. That's my goal. To repot one plant without directly killing it.
Okay,
So
how
it's
are
not
you going
repotted
to
yet.
achieve this?
So I am waiting on to see if the local farm and produce section, because they're starting to do little classes. So I'm waiting to see if they'll do one on repotting, because I said, could you please do one on repotting? If they don't, I'm going to wiki how this, because that's how my brain works, and I will give it a shot. But I have the pot, and the pot's currently full of dirt because it had a dead plant in it. So I have the pot and I have the dirt. I just need some of the expertise and time.
Time. It gets us every time.
It does. It really does. But, I have one plan I want to do. I can tell when I repot it because it'll be very obvious. It goes from one pot to the next pot. It is totally doable. I just do not have the confidence to do it. So I need some information in order for it to be doable for me. I like my plants, so I would like this to work. And I just need the time bound. So when should I have my plant repotted by? Do you have any ideas?
I don't know. What is realistic within your schedule?
Hmm.
Right now, you are completely trying to change over your office's paperwork. So,
Yeah, so I'm thinking March might be the first date I can actually look at it and say, is this realistic in March?
there you go. So
All right.
we got some time. Our time bound is by March.
I don't know.
We are going to look at repotting that plant.
Yep, just the one plant. That's all I need.
Just one plant.
Mhm.
My
Bye-bye.
goal is
Mhm.
to read. So I got all of the books I'd been asking for Christmas. And I have an addiction to scrolling Facebook reels.
Mhm.
Megan and I send about 500 of them to each other a day.
We're bad at this.
And it takes a lot of time. It really does.
Mhm.
And it's just mindless, numbness scrolling. Like I will get my book and I will sit on the couch with every intention to read, and then I start scrolling.
Mhm.
So I am going to, because I enjoy reading. It's something I enjoy and I want to do. So I'm going to get back to reading. Like I have to go by chapters. I can't go by time because I'm terrible at time. So
That's fair.
my goal is to read like 3 chapters a day.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to do so by keeping my phone on the charger in another room.
That helps a lot. I will understand if I'm no longer getting 500 reels a day. It's because you're actually meeting your goal, and that's perfectly fine, and I love it.
It's because I'm reading. I've been thinking about downloading one of those book apps that like you can track your reading. To make
Ooh.
me feel better about it.
Hey, listen, sticker charts come in all forms nowadays. Book apps work.
Oh, they do. And I love bubble charts. So I have planners. I'm terrible about writing in them, but I buy one every year.
I know. I have such a pretty one now. I love it.
They're great. And then I get really excited and I write everything in it all at once. And then I put it in my backpack and I forget about it for a month.
Right. Yep. Mine comes out and I like fill in the week towards the end of the week of everything I did. I'm like, there you go. I used it.
Mm-hmm. Mine's more
They
of a
do, they make
tracker
it
than it
better.
is for a know what I have coming.
Same with journals. I love journals. I never use them. Or I have so many like quarter filled journals. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And they're so pretty too. I get like the leather bound ones
Oh,
because
those are
I'm
so
gonna
nice.
start journaling. And I never do it.
No, they feel good, they smell good, but we're not journal people. That's
Yeah.
okay.
But they make my shelves pretty.
They do. They do. All right. Anything else you can think of for goals? Anything else we should throw out there?
Find your support partner.
Mhm. A very stubborn person that also wants to do the thing but doesn't know how to do it on their own and just needs to bully someone else into doing it is a good support partner.
Yes, not somebody who's exactly like you. Find somebody who complements you with their differences.
Absolutely. And you got this.
Mhm.
Keep them smart, keep them specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time bound, keep it simple. Make sure you have that support. You definitely need it. And make sure it's something you really, really want and actually enjoy achieving.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us this week. If you found us once, you can find us again. You can, like I said, we'll post the lizard picture somewhere, but you can find us on, still there? Better
Sure.
still be there. Okay, good. Well, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere where they have the podcasts at. You can poke at us on Patreon if you want to see us on there, and I will post extra bits and pieces at places. You can't find us on OnlyFans yet. You got to pay us money to get us on OnlyFans, and then we'll think about it.
Yeah. Hey, you show us how much you want us on there, and we'll be all over it.
We'll think about it. Where else
We're
can
always
they
down
find
for
us, Jess? Oh, yeah.
You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Yes. So if you want to complain, if you want to talk about lizards jumping out of your bras or anything, just find us online. Throw us a line somewhere. We'll respond or we'll read it out on here and respond. Whatever. Till then, take care, everyone, and we will talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, friends.